G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. It's Easter. Hope you had a happy Easter, everyone. It's Easter Monday now. And the weather report, well, they told us that we had to batten the hatches, we're going to get blown off the face of the earth, and we were going to have a heap of rain. And so I was thinking beauty. Yeah, wouldn't mind a few inches of rain. And they were saying around 80 millimetres of rain yesterday, Sunday, and another 80 today on the Monday. And it's going to be severe and flash flooding. And the Weather Bureau said that we were going to have a rain bomb. And I was thinking, shit, I wouldn't mind that. Looking forward to it. But anyway, the rain bomb didn't happen yet. And when I look at the Bureau of Meteorology on their radar, well, it looks like the rain bomb's off Fraser Island and heading away, unless there's another one coming. And there's a mob I follow, Higgins Storm Chasing, I subscribe to, and they were still saying last night that there's a fair chance something's coming. So who knows? I rate their, well, I listen to them more than I listen to the Bureau of Meteorology, the government mob. So we'll just see, eh? Yeah. But anyway, so I thought, well, if we're going to have a wet weekend, I'm going to race up the shed here and get a bit of filming done on the TEA. The Land Cruiser, I've got it really close now. I've still got to put a tube on the roof to put my fishing rods and that in, and I've got to put a shovel mount on the top, but on the 13th of April it goes into ARB to get the snorkel put on and another couple of bits of gear, and I might get diff breathers and all that put on it as well. You know, get raised diff and gearbox breathers, put on it while we're going. And look, then the Land Cruiser's pretty well done, which is good because even though I love doing that sort of stuff, love fiddling, I've nearly had enough, and I haven't been doing much on tractors, and I have been, thinking I should be up here. I'm sort of, looking at the tractors, but I've been at a stage lately where I come up here to do stuff. I think I should do this and I should film that and I should do something else, but I just can't get my mind around it. I've had that much on my plate that I haven't been able to. So I haven't been able to settle into it properly and do it with a clear head. So this weekend I put aside for a bit of shed time and a bit of tractor time. And look, it's been great. I've got quite a bit done. I'm back on the TE20, just trying to sort that out a little bit. I've got quite a bit to do on it and quite a bit done. On the TE20, I've got this little fella here, and often on the governor housing there's a rod that sits up the top here that hooks onto a spring onto your thermostat housing. Well, look, they get worn and they always fall out of here. I've been having trouble finding the quarter UNF ones, which is what they were, but I've come across a heap of 6mm ones. So what I've chosen to do, and I'll have some of these for sale. I don't know if I've got some for sale on my website or not. I was going to do a heap of them, but this rod here, this is quarter UNC, which goes into your standard governor link, and this other end up here is now 6mm. Even when you find the quarter UNF ones for up this end, they were dear as buggery, and we can put out the 6mm ones and make the rod and all that quite a bit cheaper. So that's what we're doing there. I might get that set up today. I'll just see how we go. I've had it all ready to rock and roll, but just not got there. Another job coming up shortly is I've got an AgriLine part number, and the part number is 7246, and it's actually a new oil line to come from the banjo here up to the gauge. The other oil line was quite rusty, and I wasn't going to run it. Well, I didn't want to run it. With the work we've put into the engine, I didn't really want to risk having a line crack or something like that. So I know where it goes up here, but under the battery box, it goes under the battery box, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember whether it went across near the steering box and up and out or the other way. And a few people have told me the other way, and I can see a bracket on some photos, but then when you look at where it has to come through, it's too close, and I think it would rub. I think it has to go, pardon me, the other way. So we'll look at that. On this weekend just gone, I've actually replaced the kingpin bushes. Here's me pointing to them, and they're way down here and you're way up there. So bloody hard to get good help, eh? I've videoed replacing the kingpin bushes and the thrust bearings and all that sort of thing on the TEA here. I got that done this weekend. I got replacing the wheel bearings, and I fitted Sparex kingpins and Sparex kingpin bushes. And look, I was bloody happy as Larry. I know Sparex helped me, sponsor me, but the amount of times I've bought other brands of kingpin bushes and I've had to machine, ream them. You know, you put the bush in, you try and get it true, and you ream them. And well, you got to put your kingpin in. It doesn't go in. You've got to get the ream and ream them out, and just a prick of a job. So the Sparex kingpin bushes pressed in beautifully. I took time to get them straight. The new kingpins just slid in beautiful, yeah. So no reaming. So they're my go-to now. Anything else on the website's going to be chucked to the shit house. We're only going to sell the Sparex ones. So look, it was just a bloody good thing, you know. And I was so pleased because reaming's one of those jobs, and I look at it and think, oh, geez, I'm not looking forward to this shit. That's why I dance around some of these jobs, I think. So I filmed doing the kingpins, I filmed doing the front wheel bearings, and I had some spare tyres, some new tyres here for the TEA20, and with COVID, every company run out of tyres, and we sold some. So next thing I got Judy and Ross, you got some tyres at home? We need them. And so all my tyres went to work, and we let customers have them to keep customers going. So anyway, they still haven't. Well, they're back now. I can get some now, but they were a bit of a battle getting them for a while. And so on the weekend, come here. Now you can see that. Look at that, new boots. So look at the patina on that rim. Now that rim, I just wiped it over with thinners. I want to keep that look. I wiped it over with thinners, and I used some of that X-Trol, that rust preventative stuff. It etches into any rusty surface, and then I wiped any excess off with a rag. And so that's a set sealed paint cover now, and I'm going to do the bonnet the same. I just wanted to try the wheels and see. So believe it or not, putting those tyres on took me most of the day. The old tyres, they were hard as buggery, and I couldn't get the bead to break for ages, and I ended up, I even had the front end loader bucket down on it trying to push it, and they were that rusted that I couldn't break the bead. So I ended up getting a cold chisel in and bashing all the way around, and take it till I just heard it touch the rim, and then I just kept working my way around with a bigger cold chisel, and slowly I pushed them down and got them off. And then the rim there, someone had been in there before, and they'd had a bit of grey paint, and I don't know if you can see it on this one. Yeah, look, you can see a bit, but not really. But what they had is, when they were replacing the tube or fixing a puncture or something one time, they painted undercoat all inside the rim there where the tube would go, but they didn't bother cleaning where they painted. And they must have had no tyre rim on it, because you can see little paint drips coming down through the hole where the valve goes. So anyway, once I got it apart, I had a look there, and I thought, oh, this is no good. So I started with the wire brush and on the angle grinder, and look, it took me 4 hours to clean them up, to clean 2 rims up. And so by the time I got the tyres off, then cleaned the rims up, and didn't want to bugger them up because I'm trying to keep the tractor patina, and got the tyres back on, and had a couple of phone calls from mates and things. Well, that was the day gone. Yeah, fitting 2 tyres. You wouldn't want to be paying me by the hour, would you? But look, that was a good thing. I'm pleased with that. it's getting ahead with it. Today I hope to start setting this up and probably get this oil line done if I can. Now, the front axle pin on here, I was going to shut my eyes and not look at it, but it's giving me the shit, so I've got to do it. The front pin, where the front pin goes through, it's all rusted in, and the axle's been all welded up where it's broken and buggered up sometime, but that's no trouble. I can just machine that and bush it. But where the pin sits in the back of the housing there, it's elongated the hole, and I just can't live with shit like that. So I'll probably pop that front off today because, I mean, the reason I was getting into the front end is I wanted to get the radiator on and get going and give this thing a start because I'm a bit excited to do that. But now I look at this front axle and I think, oh, Lance, you can't let that go. And the other thing is round the front where the bonnet pivots, they usually have a little steel strap that holds the nut in place. That's all missing, so I think I'll do up a bolt and a nut and I'll just weld a couple of nuts in there. So when we're putting the bonnet on, we can do it a bit easier. Before we go too much further with it, the PDO seal just pouring out here, so we'll probably do the PDO seal before we do a start because I just can't see the sense in putting nice new oil in the back, and yeah, doing that, it's just silly. So we'll see. I'll do the PDO seal and I'll fix that leak, and then we should be able to give it a start within a week. This Saturday in Bundaberg up at Tegigi, my memory card went full, I had to start again. This Saturday up at Tegigi, which is about 30 k's north of Bundaberg, there's a vintage machinery show. It's usually a good show, got a tractor pull and usually a bit of side plough, vintage ploughing and engines and all that sort of thing. So that's this Saturday, 10th of April. 10th of, April. Yeah, here's me, bloody getting lost. So yeah, whether I go up or not, I'm thinking of going up for the day. Probably just take the Goldie up. That's all I got sort of organised. I suppose I could take Johnny over there, but anyway, we'll see. We got some family friends coming Saturday arvo, coming to town, so I'll have to be home for that and have a barbecue and spend some time with them. So we'll just see, but might get out there for half a day anyway. We'll see. I'll yet to make up my mind whether I'll get going and get there or not. But look, it's worth a look. Hopefully it's quite popular. The COVID sort of shut down a lot of shows and things are just starting to get going again. And so, yeah, it's a good thing. I think it's the 30th of April, our club, my club, Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, we're having our main show for the year is at Agrotrend. Now, Agrotrend's, it started off as an agricultural show, and now it's agricultural and lifestyle. You know, some of the big tractor blokes go and all that, but it's on for a few days. I won't be there this year. I'll be in that Land Cruiser driving up the road to Mount Isa and Julia Creek and all that sort of stuff. And we're taking the cameras. I've been playing with the GoPro. We're setting one up on the dash, and we're going to try and take you to all the country towns we go to and the things of interest. We're going to take it around and try and do the stews on the road for 3 or 4 weeks. So see how we go. We'll find machinery and hopefully we can make it interesting for you. And but yeah, Agrotrend, it's worth a look. They're bringing a couple of cane harvesters in, and my friends are taking tractors and things like that. The engine boys are going to have their engines there, and Kevy Dossel's often got his electric fence display, and yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff. So that's 30th of April in Bundaberg at the Agrotrend grounds. If you get a chance, yeah, drop up to that. It'll be a nice day out. And this next Saturday on the 10th, Tegigi. So yeah, a couple of nice little things happening around the place. So things are starting to move, and I find too, everyone gets down in the dumps a bit. You know, your mental capacity to work on your tractors changes. You get that wound up in work and that. Well, it does for me anyway. And then you get to a show and you get talking and bug around. And you get a new lease of life, and you come home wagging your tail, all excited, and start playing with your tractors again. So we'll see how that goes. I've been doing up a 188 steering box, which I've got a lot of it videoed, And at the moment, the 188 steering box shaft that Sparex sell is too long. It's not right for that job. They've got it listed wrong, I believe. They can't supply the correct one, so I've ordered the pitman shaft bushes, the main shaft, and I can't think what else there was. There's a couple of things. I've ordered them out of Quality Tractor Parts in Ireland. Instead of the main shaft being 689 long, which it was in the 688, 89 in the older, in the newer tractors, the shaft should be about 645, something like that. So we can't finish the video on the 188 steering box until till the quality order comes in. So it won't be too far away. Yeah, we ordered them last week, and we're getting parts in from Ireland about every 10 days. So we're doing 2 orders a week, so into Ireland, and we're flying them in. So it's costing us £1, but look, we got the sales for it, and we've got the system worked out. We're working well with them. I haven't had a chance to put the 135 bonnet on yet and do a test run. If I can get this little fella here running, I might put it over there, because this is a good bay for filming, because I've got a big overhead light here and one behind me, and the shadows aren't too bad. It's a good light for filming, and if I get over near the door in the shadows and places like that, it's just not as good. But anyway, and I can't, on my green bench over there, I can't get over there either. So yeah, I thought I'd pop in and do the stew early this morning. It is overcast and drizzly outside. We had 17 millimetres and that's it. The dams yesterday, no fuller really. Well, they must be 17 mils fuller, but it wasn't heavy enough to fill any up. So I'm hoping it just pisses down later. Let's see what happens. If it does, I'll go up. Oh, yesterday I cleaned up my bench where I need to do all this editing, and I've got a big screen I've put up there now. I think I'll get another bracket and mount it on the wall, so I've got the bench a bit freer. And I hadn't cleaned up my lathe for ages, so being a damp day yesterday, I cleaned up my little pool room, not my pool room, my little shipping container machine shop. I cleaned all that up, and I cleaned the lathe and serviced it up and oiled the ways and did everything nice on that. The mill still needs work on it to tidy up, and I'll get a couple of little videos done here today, and I'll probably try and head up and finish that before the weekend's over. And if it starts raining here and I can't film, it just gets too loud, well, I've got plenty to do. So anyway, look, thanks for dropping in, everybody. Have a good week. Hope you had a great Easter. And oh, the rain's just starting to come a little bit heavier now. Jeez, I hope it pisses down. And have a good week, and we'll all catch you next week, eh? See yous. Okay, just a little extra to the stew. Now I've got the front axle out, and this pin here, you can see the wear in the back there. That's happened before because this pin can't physically make it up that high. Doesn't matter how I work it, I just can't do it. Then when we look through here, this surface here should be straight, and that one should be straight, and you'll see that this lip here is bent forward. So whatever's happened one time has taken that forward. So I'll make up a spacer in here with a thread, and I'll heat up the back there. And I'll bring that back so that's parallel. Then we'll set this in the milling machine, find the shaft centre here, and then we'll bring the boring bar down through, and we'll bore this until we have a completely round hole there. And then we'll make a washer with a step in it, so the step sits in the new big hole, and there'll be a little flange on the front, probably only 5mm at the front there, and that'll give us a support for the new pin there. Now, another interesting thing is the front axle here, if I can get out of the light, Lance. You'll see that it's been all welded up here. And I was sort of wondering what the go was there, because it looks all good around here. Down in there looks okay. But when we tip him over, the story is revealed. Now I might be able to show you, whoa, uplands, fucking hell. You can see the crack there, and you can see where they've welded down this side, then down the other side there. So at some stage in its life, it's had a bit of a whoopsie, this thing. I don't know if it ever had a loader frame on it or not, but I know a lot of these axle bolts where the kingpin housings here, I'll zoom back out again, where the kingpin housings here were bolted on, they had ring-in bolts and things like that there. So that means we're going to have to get a new or another axle beam here. I'm not prepared to run down the road with that, and this one can just go to scrap. So anyway, I just thought you may, if I come back up here, you may just find that interesting. There's the movement of the pin, but it doesn't matter how I try and find a worn patch. I'll try and get out of here so I'm not mugging focus up all the time. I can't actually make it touch that top surface there. So I need to unbolt the front cradle here, the front axle support. I need to heat this and straighten it out and sit it in the milling machine, use this front surface, use this front surface here as our reference, so that when we bore straight through, we will have a nice parallel surface that'll be 90 degrees to this bolt-up flange here. So I've done the 35 ones before. I can't recall doing a TE20 one. I think they've all been okay till now. But anyway, looks like it's up to the mill for a little while. Well, look, we've got the main front axle support here out of the little TE20. We've centered it all up in the pin here, and we're going to leave this front bore as it is. We don't need to play with that, but we're going to open this back one out, and we've got it supported here. It had a little bow up here which I've straightened with the oxy fairly well. I don't know how well yet, but what we're going to do, we're going to open up this back hole here as much as we can with this bar, and we can't go an awful lot, but it should be enough that we can make a washer to sit over the front here. So just a thin washer to sit over the front and sit into the recess which we'll make there. In this bottom bit there'll be a little shoulder, the washer will sit in there, and that'll give us support and take up this wear in the back, and we can probably do a bit of welding in the back here. So we'll just see how we go. I've only got a putting along. What are we on? M1, which is, what are we looking at? About 600 RPM, and a lot of hangout here. Like, it's certainly not ideal, but that's all we got to do the job. So we'll solder on and see how we go with it. Okay, so we'll take him out a little bit more. I have no clue what measurement I'm on there really, I just took it until it touched. So we'll open this up here. And what do we have there? We're on, it's 0.01 of a millimetre. I'll take it there. I think that should be 1/2 mil. I don't know if it's too much or not. But we'll soon find out. I'm using a bit of this Sutton Tools Venom. Seems to be good gear. Just run through that again. So that was still doing a bit of a spring pass. I'll see if I can bring him in a little bit so you can get a bit more of a look at what's going on. But yeah, you can see where it's cleaning up. So it's going to clean up around the bottom half here, and this top bit's just that worn that it probably won't pick that up. So we'll go another 1/2 mil. And what's going to stop us eventually is the boring bar at the top here is going to hit the top hole. So we're just going to go until we get to there. That's as big as we can go. Okay, let's have another go.